Hey, welcome back to another writing week. Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, March 3rd, and I have a very exciting unboxing for you. If you are not at all interested in the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber and don't really care about the Fairyloot Edition, Deluxe Edition, you can skip to the timestamp on your screen or the description box below to get started with the writing vlog. The Caraval series is one of my favorite young adult fantasy series as of late, and I was so excited to be able to get my hands on these deluxe editions. They were much more than I probably would have wanted to spend on books, but I have been getting really excited to receive them. I think because these books are my very favorite right now that I would regret if I did miss out on them. This box came from the UK, so there is a lot of stickers all over it, so there's really nothing pretty about the box other than my address, and I'm not showing that. So I'm going to just show you the inside and let's get started. This is pretty much the only side of the box I can show you. Everything else is covered in stickers with tracking and my address, so let's open it up. Alright, right here we have a quote. "Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten." By G.K. Chesterton and Gaiman, which I'm assuming is new. I have never received a Fairyloot box before, so I'm very excited. So it's very pretty, and we have some purple squiggles here, and the books are right there. So let me just pull these aside. Wow, these are, wow, ooh. It's a very soft cover here. Oh, this is Finale. Hold on, let me go through and pick. Let me get them in order here. Legendary. I can already see some fun stuff going on here. All right, so here we have the Deluxe Edition of Caraval. How pretty is that? Look at that foil right here. And the covers are so incredibly soft. I'm gonna touch another cover and see if it's as soft as, they're not as soft. These are really soft. They are pretty soft, but, so this is Caraval. This is the front, and this is the back. Whatever you've heard about Caraval, it doesn't compare to the reality. It's more than just a game or a performance. It's the closest you'll ever find to magic in this world. And we have some sprayed edges here in red. So let's open it up here. We're both getting a first look. Wow, so pretty. All right, let's see what it looks like here. So this says, "I want to feel love in its every form." And it's gold embossing. It's very beautiful. So what I can see they're doing on this side is that they're all gonna spell Caraval on the side. So we get that starting there as well. You know what, I would probably display these without the dust jacket as well, because they are beautiful. And they also are all signed by Stephanie. Both my Caraval and Legendary are signed by Stephanie. I met her at a SCBWI event in LA a few years ago, so she was able to sign those for me. I don't have a signed Finale, I guess, until now. So if you're out of the loop, this is the original cover for Caraval, and this is the Deluxe Edition. So, bit different. I'm excited to have both in my collection. I really love sprayed edges. I don't have any books with sprayed edges, so I feel like it's my birthday. So we're moving on to Legendary, which is the second book, and we have the Prince of Hearts on here. You can see it's also foily and cool. And this says, "A harp to protect, a debt to repay, and a game to win." That's pretty cool. I really love this cover. I have to say it competes with the first one for me. So in here we have a rose, which has significance in the book. And here we have the quote, "I used to be so scared of it." And then again on the side, we're getting closer to spelling out Caraval. How exciting. And again with the red sprayed edges. I think these are absolutely beautiful. I'm trying to, you know, carry them carefully like I am a child, because these are just gorgeous. I really don't have a lot of special editions of books, so this is really cool. And again, we have her signature in Legendary. I have a feeling her hand must have been hurting pretty hard after signing 3 copies of these books for all of the lovely people who got the Fairyloot edition. So thank you, Stephanie, for all of your hard work writing these books and signing them. These are truly beautiful editions. And again, if you don't know what the original Legendary looks like, I have the Barnes & Noble edition, and then this is the Deluxe edition. Pretty cool. I'm excited to have both. The Barnes & Noble edition, actually, I think it has a extra scene or some annotations or something like that, so I'm glad to have both. So the last one is Finale. And this is white, and it has the beautiful foil. A love worth fighting for, a dream worth fighting for, an ending worth waiting for. So that's the back. All right, let's see what quote is on the inside. First of all, ooh. The thing about Caraval in itself is that Stephanie Garber really went above and beyond with the dresses for the characters and the outfits and everything. She's great at describing them, so this is an extra little treat, because the costumes and outfits in this book are absolutely beautiful. And this quote says, "But now I think love is another type of magic." And that's pretty cool too. And again, we have her signature in Finale, and this is the spine. This is Finale, this is the original edition, this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and I believe it has another chapter in here or annotated chapters, I'm not sure. So these are the two side by side. And so you can see all of the beautiful spines together. Ah, how cool is that? It says Caraval along the edge here, and it's gonna look fantastic on my bookshelf. I just have to find some room now. So I'm so excited to have these. They all are signed and beautiful and special, and it really will add to a nice stack on my bookshelves. So anyway, let's get back to the writing vlog. So I was gonna do a whole new setup when I started my writing vlog from my unboxing, but I couldn't get off this chair. I'm not sure if you can hear, but it's raining outside, and rain is my kryptonite, and I literally cannot get off this chair. So what have I been up to? Not much when it comes to my writing. I have my mastermind group tonight, so I had finished up yesterday with creating character arcs, and I got a bit further with Take Off Your Pants by Libby Hawker. Now that we've got to the meat of that book, that craft book, I'm really starting to enjoy it. I sort of got to the point of the actual outlining. The other stuff, some of it was more prep work. It's hard to explain unless you've read the book, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm more than halfway done, and now I think I may need to incorporate that method into outlining my books. But we'll see, because I don't know how much more outlining I can do. So I've been working a little bit more day by day on my own outline for my thriller, and it's starting to all come together for me. I'm still mulling over the idea of how I want to present the multiple points of view, and I also think I may have changed my antagonist. I think it's going to be someone else. It's someone close to the other person that I originally had, but it's not going to be that person. I think it makes a little more sense the way that I have changed it, and I feel better about it. And I also have been sort of unhappy but unsure why until I sort of figured it out. So that's one thing I do love about outlining, is that I'm able to figure out everything up front so that I don't write, 75,000 words and be like, oh, it should have been this other person, and then I have to go back and revise or cut a lot of stuff. I try not to waste time where I can, so that's why outlining is so important to me. I have my mastermind group again tonight, so I will probably have more of a push at that point. I have also heard from my editor, and my copy edits should be coming this week. I think our plan was for tomorrow, but obviously I won't know that until I get them. So she's had me work on my dedication, acknowledgements for Barefoot on the Beach, and to be honest, I find those a lot more daunting than writing the actual book, because I want to make sure I don't forget anyone. I want to make sure I have a good dedication. I think I've had the dedication for a while, but it's more about the acknowledgements, and then we usually add a reader letter at the end of the book. I've been working on that this morning a little bit, and I'd like to get it done before I get my copy edits, so then when I get my copy edits, I can really focus on those, and then make sure that I finish up all of the front and back matter, and then the book's done. So I'm just sort of waiting at this point, not exactly procrastinating, but I just know that I really want to focus on my copy edits, and if I really dive too deep into my thriller, I will not want to work on my copy edits. So I'm sort of holding myself back, but then when the copy edits are in, the floodgates are gonna open. Working on my launch for my book is like a different part of my brain, so I know I'll be able to do both my outlining and all the prep work for my launch, which is a April 29th and it's already March, so I better get a move on that. If you're interested to see any of my marketing efforts for my books, especially this upcoming launch, let me know, and maybe I'll include them in my future writing vlogs as I'm going closer to my launch day if you're interested. I still definitely want to do a launch day vlog, but other than that, launch is on my brain, outlining's on my brain, and I should probably get back to it. Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, March 4th, and I just received something pretty cool. Barefoot on the beach. These are my copy edits. Yay! So if you don't know, copy edits are done with a copy editor, usually someone who goes in to fix really small issues, continuity issues, grammar issues, things like that, and it's one of the last stops before an author sends their book out for publication. Now, as a traditionally published author, these copy edits are done at no cost to me, but for if you were a self-published author, they would cost money to go through a copy editor. I think these are one of the most important editors you can have because it really changes up the way a story can read, and they really catch on to some really small things that I may not have seen throughout my edits as I went on. So this is very exciting. I went through this morning the first few pages. I needed to update my bio, my dedication, and I looked at the first page of the manuscript and it looks pretty good so far. I love seeing it all marked up. Let me show that to you. So this is one of my favorite views whenever looking at my manuscript, is seeing all of that extra stuff on the sides here. You'll see like here where that line is on the side, those are little edits from my copy editor or my editor, but this is a lot of fun for me and I'm excited to dive in. So right now I'm off to drop kiddo off at school. I have a hair appointment today, which is why I just threw my hair up like this. I am getting more purple done, so you'll be able to see that in a little bit. So I'm really excited to work on my copy edits. I already have 2 of my beta readers ready to go once I've done, so I think I'm going to do one pass through my copy edits, making and adjusting anything I'd like, and then send it off to them so they have enough time to read. I only have until the 11th to get this done, so I'm going to send it off to them, and then I'm going to go back and do a read aloud probably of this just one more time to really get in and figure out any issues that I need to fix. At this point in the process, you usually don't want to be fixing a lot of things that should have been done in the developmental edit. So this process can be a little nerve-wracking because you just want to make sure that there are no glaring issues, and if there are, that sometimes can be a problem. So I'm just hoping for the best, and we'll see after this run through. And I'm really excited to get beta reader feedback. My best friend and my mom do my beta reading at the very least. Sometimes I have 1 or 2 others, but I trust their views completely, and neither of them are really shy away from telling me how it is and if something doesn't make sense or if they don't like the way that something is or whatever. My best friend tries to embarrass me all the time with things that she writes, especially if I write like a romantic scene. She really busts me on that. So I'm excited to get their feedback on the book, and then I'll be done. So I gotta go. I'll check in with you soon. Hey, good morning. Happy Friday? It's Friday, March something. I'll put it down on the screen because I really don't know. Yesterday I meant to film, but I had a sick kiddo at home, so I ended up staying home, and I worked from home, which is the great thing about technology. I can work from home. So that was not great. I always hate seeing my kiddo sick, but I did want to catch up with you about what I've been doing. I went over all my copy edits on Wednesday. What we do is we normally do track changes with copy edits. If you're not familiar with that, basically in Word, you can turn on track changes, and anything my editor does, I can see, because as an author, I have basically a veto power in a lot of things. I rarely use it because most of the time these editors know what they're talking about. I'm gonna make some lunch for my kiddo while I'm doing this because I'm trying to get back on track. We do have a school day today and everything seems to be fine, so maybe it was just one of those days. So pardon me as I multitask. So I went through and accepted all of the changes that the editor did. There were about almost 1,000 of them. It seems like a lot, but it's more of like, you know, if we put a comma in or changed a word or updated a sentence so it made a little more sense, things like that. So I was able to go through in one day just all the changes. I kept all of the comments that the editor did because I knew I was gonna go through it again and I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget to do anything, because there was an instance or two of me writing a sentence and then not finishing the sentence, which was kind of weird, but that's fine. So I want to go through those parts, but I also did want to send them to my beta readers. So I wanted to get it to them on time so that they were able to read it in a normal amount of time. I don't like rushing people when I don't have to, but this is kind of a rush. And they're very, very good. They have been very, very good these past few books about getting it back to me with their thoughts. This beta reading process is still nerve-wracking. We're so close to the end of the book, to the end of this whole process, that I'm just so afraid that there's gonna be some issue that I missed, and then there's gonna be a whole hoopla. So that's just my anxiety working, and that's always fun. So yesterday I didn't do anything with the book. I sent it off in the morning and then just focused on kiddo, because sometimes that's what you gotta do. And I meant to film a video this week. I have still not done that, which is kind of weighing on me. I was ahead for a little bit, but I'm glad I was ahead, but now I'm not ahead, so I gotta figure out a time to film it. I wanna post it this Wednesday, so you will see on Wednesday if I made that happen. But it's all about writing schedules, and sometimes schedules get messed up. And this week was a perfect example of that. And because I do have a good writing schedule, I am ahead of myself, or exactly right on time when it comes to this stuff, because if I procrastinated and then something happened, like kiddo getting sick, or me getting sick, or my husband getting sick, then you get behind. That's why I think schedules are very important, and they help to keep you on track with things like this. So, enough about schedules. So what I did today is I'm going through with the read aloud feature again in Word. I want to catch as many little things as I can, because like I said, this is the last time I'm going to see the book. And there have been a few things so far more. I have this habit of like writing the same word multiple times in like a sentence, which really annoys me as a reader, but for some reason I always do it. So there have been a few instances of that I've just altered real quick, because this book is going to be an audiobook as well, and I want to make sure that, I don't know why I feel more pressure now that I have paperback and audio when I just used to have just ebook, because I don't know, it just feels like a lot more pressure. It feels more permanent. With an ebook you can quickly go in and change it whenever you want, or not usually whenever you want. It's just if there's a glaring issue that somehow all of these people missed. So I'm really just honing in on making this the best it can be, because if people have a physical copy or an audiobook copy, that's not as easily changed. So as you can tell, I'm going through a bit of anxiety right now. It's not making my tummy feel very good, but I'll be very happy when this process is all done, and then I can start jumping into my thriller. So this morning I did about 4 chapters of Barefoot on the Beach, and I'm gonna keep going throughout the rest of today when I can. It's not due until later next week, but I'd like to get it done as soon as possible. So speaking of my thriller, I pulled up the document again yesterday in between work stuff. I had a little bit of time when kiddo took a nap to try to get better. And I feel like I'm working so hard on the backstory. This thriller has so much behind it, and there's a lot of reasoning for why my main character feels a certain way, and her relationships with her family, and there's like a big secret in the town, and I'm just really brain dumping at this point. I have a better idea about the new antagonist, and well, it's not necessarily new, it was sort of always there, the same process is there. I just wanted it to be someone different, because I really want to encompass like this whole town-wide thing. It's going to start off, you know, very small, and then it's gonna kind of go wider and see, you know, how my main character deals with a lot of this stuff. So that's what I've been doing. I went back to the beginning, and for some reason I just had the idea to like write what was going on like in the backstory. So like when we start off, you know, the whole synopsis is through my main character's eyes, but then I put like after that paragraph in like italics, I put what the other person in the scene is thinking and what has gone on in their backstory. And I think that's really gonna help me create reactions and have a consistent thread about what's going on behind the scenes. And even though I may not state it on the page, like this is what her mom is thinking, that I'll be able to, I think having the other character's thoughts and feelings in mind will help shape the scene. It'll help reactions. It'll help little things that I think if someone was to reread the book, they'd be like, oh shoot, why didn't I see that from the beginning? Because a lot of these things are going to be sort of underlying in the tone and the way people speak and what they say. At least that's what I hope. I haven't written the book yet, but that is sort of what I've been thinking about. As I said, I've been a little afraid of this book and what it means to me, and a lot of weight that it has on it in terms of wanting to get an agent. That's not gonna change how I write the book. The book's the book, but it's just a lot of pressure and I wanna do it now, and that's a problem, but a lot of writers go through it. They want everything done now, sooner rather than later, but I know this book, it's becoming a lot bigger than I thought, and if it takes me 3 months to write it, it takes me 3 months to write it, but I'm not gonna put garbage out there into an agent's query box either, because you really have only one first impression, and I don't want to put this book out there and that be the agent's first impression of me, and then they reject it because it's not good, which can be a problem. And then I can never really show that agent that book again. I'd have to create something new if I wanted to query that agent. So it's a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts in my head, and it's just weighing on me a little bit. I am just thinking about what my priorities are. Currently, I look at my channel as well, and I'm just curious about what I want to be doing for the next quarter, because as we're slowing down with this quarter, I need to come up with my new goals and everything, and I think I may slow down a bit with videos. I do want to keep doing writing vlogs every week because I want to keep updated. I don't want to like just completely fall off the face of the earth, and I think you'll get maybe a little more insight into my day-to-day process that way versus, you know, writing tip videos when, you know, I really should be working on my book instead of outlining a writing tip video. Just at this point, I think I may take a little hiatus from my Wednesday videos. I want to keep going with my craft book videos, and maybe that'll be it for a little bit until I finish my book, because the book is the most important thing. I don't need any other distractions in my life. I don't need this channel to be a distraction to my writing, because the whole point, I think, of you coming here is to check out my writing process and maybe glean some insight into what a writer's life is really like. And if I'm not publishing books, or if I'm not moving toward that goal of publishing a book, then like what's the point? I hope I'm here to inspire you at some point, and as others have inspired me to keep going and to keep writing, and if I'm just procrastinating, that's not helping anyone at this point. So those are my thoughts on my thriller. So this morning I was almost out the door before kiddo spiked another fever, so I'm home. I've been home for most of the day, and I just got some mail and I wanted to share it with you. Crazy that there's 2 unboxings in one video. If you want to skip by it, just hit the timestamp on the screen or in the description box below. But I did get a box from Book of the Month. I haven't used this subscription box in a while because I am on a book buying ban, but I broke that ban. I think I'm doing better than I have in previous times that I've tried to stop buying books, because I got some books from my publisher recently, which I didn't pay for, and the Caraval set I paid for last year. It's taken a couple months to get it, and this I did pay for though. So I'm not a sponsor or anything, but I do have a link below if you're interested in checking them out. I think you get a discount and then I get a free book, but no pressure whatsoever. I just wanted to share what I got. So the reason that I went for Book of the Month is because I am going to that Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen event at my library later this month, and I wanted their new book. I wanted to read it ahead of time, and I did have a little coupon code. So I guess I'm doing okay on my book buying ban in terms of spending money. So I got 2 books for the price of 1. So their new Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen book is called You Are Not Alone, and I'm really, really excited to read this. I'm in a little bit of a reading slump right now. I ended up getting accepted on NetGalley for the new Rory Power book. I believe it's called Burn Our Bodies Down, or Burn Your Bodies Down. I'll put it up on the screen. And I started reading it, and I'm really loving it. I'm really speeding through it. It's very interesting, and it's sort of a thrillery, supposedly there's horror in it as well. If anyone's read Wilder Girls, you could see where that would come in, but I haven't reached any really horror parts yet. It's a little twisted when it comes to the family, but I'm really enjoying it and it's helping me get out of my slump. So I really wanted to read this book as well. I knew it was gonna help me get out of my slump prior to reading the Rory Power book, because I blew through The Wife Between Us, and I think I'm going to as well for this one. So this is what the book's about. The #1 best-selling authors of The Wife Between Us and An Anonymous Girl deliver a thriller about a circle of friends with deadly intentions, where trust is their weapon and revenge is their trigger. You probably know someone like Shay Miller. She wants to find love, but it eludes her. She wants to be fulfilled, but her job is a dead end. She wants to belong, but her life is becoming increasingly isolated. You probably don't know anyone like the Moore sisters. They have an unbreakable circle of friends, they live a life of glamour and perfection, and they always get what they desire. Shay thinks she wants their life, but what they really want is hers. So I'm really enjoying this duo of writers. So I am going to be starting this book next. And the book that I picked up for this month, because I believe this was February, so I had to buy like a book of the month. So this was March pick. I've been hearing a lot about Things You Save in a Fire by Katlyn Center on BookTube, so I'm interested in checking this one out as well. I have no idea what it's about, but I've heard positive feedback, so let me tell you about it. Cassie Henwell was born to handle emergencies. As one of the only female firefighters in her Texas firehouse, she has seen her fair share of them, and she's a total pro at managing other people's tragedies. When her estranged and ailing mother asked her to give up her whole life and move to Boston, Cassie suddenly has an emergency of her own. The tough, old-school Boston firehouse is as different from Cassie's old job as it could possibly be. Hazing, a lack of funding, and poor facilities mean that the firemen aren't exactly thrilled to have a lady on the crew, even one as competent and smart as Cassie. Except for the infatuation, inspiring rookie who doesn't seem to mind having Cassie around. But she can't think about that because love is girly and it's not her thing. And don't forget the advice of her old captain gave her: never date firefighters. Cassie can feel her resolve slipping, and it means risking it all, the only job she's ever loved, and the hero she's worked like hell to become. So that sounds pretty interesting. I am excited to jump in and read that one. So in terms of my copy edits, I am on chapter, let me scroll down here, I'm like mid-chapter right now. I'm on chapter 10, I'm almost done with it, and I have 28 chapters, so I've been taking it a little bit at a time. I'm really digging in. I'm having my read aloud feature go kind of slow, so I can really hear the words, see if they make sense. I found a few things that I had missed in terms of little words, though instead of through or something like that. So I'm just making sure that I catch all of these little things and have the least amount of errors as possible when I go to the next step. Well, this is my last step, but when the book goes to the next step. So I'm gonna get back to it and I'll check in with you soon. Hey, good afternoon. It's Sunday, March 7th, 8th? Not quite sure. I was not able to update the past few days because, as I said, kiddo's been sick and I've been doing all of the mommy things. So I wanted to quickly wrap up this writing vlog. I will update you more on my copy edits next week. So if you enjoyed this writing vlog, do give it a like, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it so you don't miss out the next time I post, and I'll see you next week.